Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Ernie, thanks for joining us for a few minutes after a successful 2-under round today. Obviously, with 2-under, the course is definitely testing you guys. Just a few, but you great par save there at 18. Just a few comments on the round, how the course is playing, and kind of how Shaughnessy sets up for you.
Okay. Well, I'm obviously very pleased with that. This is a very, very tough golf course. Played the Pro-Am yesterday. I played 9 holes Tuesday afternoon, so I was trying to get a bit of a game plan. But I was really struggling with my back yesterday, so I couldn't really go at the ball. So today was kind of my first real round around here. But really just try to keep it in play, like most of the players would tell you. Which I did. Felt like my second shots were good today. My iron shots were pretty crisp. So I had quite a few chances for birdies, but I just try to keep it in play. And then I made some good par saves here and there. So all in all, just a solid round of golf. So good start for my tournament.
Okay, well with that, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you wouldn't mind just raising your hand so we can get to the microphone.
Ernie, was your approach today very much like a U.S. Open where par is your friend and just don't beat yourself?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. I mean, that first hole, to start on that first hole, that's a beauty there. I tell you, I hit a good 3-wood down the fairway, and I hit a 5-iron into the middle of the green, and that was the start I needed, 2 good swings. And then the golf course gave me a birdie on the second, but I didn't drive it very well there. Got away with a good break and made a good par save on 3, and had a good start. 1 under through 3 holes, and just try to keep it there. But this golf course, if you've played many U.S. Opens, this is very much like a U.S. Open.
Do you have any previous visits to Vancouver? Did you ever play here as an amateur or anything?
No, unfortunately not. No, the closest visits I've had here was up to Whistler about 10, 12 years ago. Played up there in a shell match, which was great. It was beautiful. I've obviously flown in here many times, but I've never been into the city, so it's nice to play here. Beautiful place.
Sorry, there was some criticism yesterday of the rough. I'm sorry.
I'm sure
that the rough was too high, maybe too thick. What are your thoughts after playing around today?
I agree. But it is what it is. I feel it's the National Open, Canada's National Open, and I've played many National Opens. Scottish Opens, British Opens, South African Opens. And this is the way a National Open should be played. It should be played as tough as possible on a very stern test, and that's what you got here.
Can you talk just a little bit about your involvement with Team RBC and that sort of thing with this year and how that's gone for you so far?
Well, I'd like to give them some better golf. I haven't played my best golf this year, so but they're a great bunch of guys. I played with Gordon yesterday. Most of the RBC guys are golf fanatics. They've taken over this tournament now. They've taken over the Hilton Head. So they're coming in on a big scale into golf. They're sponsoring quite a few really good players around the world. So, I'm just glad to be part of that Team RBC. There's some good talent there. So we'd like to... I'd like to give them something back. They've been really good to me, and I'd love to play good golf here, and especially, this week. It's nice to have good energy, behind you as a sponsor. So, we'll see where we go this week.
Ernie, can you talk about your relationship with Dan Quinn and how that's been working out? And do you ever think he might be the bigger celebrity here than you?
Yeah, I just saw that after 18 there. I mean, I think he had 12 guys around him. I had one guy around me. So if you're a hockey player in this country. No, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good player, obviously, as you know, and we basically neighbors down in Florida. I've known him for quite a long time now, and he caddied for me full time last year. And the way this week's going, he might be back again. So, I like his energy, and he's a competitive guy, obviously, playing hockey. So he understands professional sport, and I appreciate that. So, and he's not a bad green reader. He's okay. Gets lucky every now and again.
He said he turned you into a hockey fan during the Olympics. Can you talk about your hockey knowledge?
Well, it's not really great. But I was cheering for Canada. Sorry. I watch hockey like any other fan, and I listen to his stories and some of his, the stuff that, the greatest fights on YouTube. We've watched those many times when after a couple of beers. So I haven't quite seen him in any of those fights, but he, he's teaching me. Put it that way. I'm from South Africa, and I'm a rugby fan, and he reckons hockey players are tougher than rugby players. So we have big arguments, but he's a lot of fun.
Ernie, you changed to long putter this year. Can you give me a sense of what the change in the putting? Because for a long time you're known as one of the best putters on tour, and you seem to be shuffling between sort of back and forth between different putters and trying to find some level of comfort. I mean, are you finding that now? Are you comfortable with this?
Yeah, it's. You're right. I mean, for most of my career, I was really one of the better putters. But last year I started feeling that my path of my stroke was all screwed up. I started cutting across the ball, and I guess I kind of got to that age. Playing under the gun for such a long time. Didn't feel comfortable on some of the shorter putts. So. Was kind of playing with it, the long putter in practice, and then felt that my path was a lot better with it. I tried to go back to the shorter putter, and then I found, under pressure, I was again cutting the ball a bit. And so I just figured, I'll really try it in competition. So from the US Open, I've been playing with this longer putter, and it's starting to feel really good. The path is in out, so. Feeling good. Obviously could have made a couple more today, but I'm feeling a lot more solid over the ball.
Okay, we'll take two more questions right here and then back there.
Ernie, how much has the game itself changed from when you first came out on tour, and is it a different challenge for you now to compete? Are there things you have to do differently now than when you were younger to compete?
Well, when I started, we still played wooden clubs. I mean, that's how long ago I started playing professional golf. So obviously technology has changed a lot. Driving has become where it used to be a really art form, how to drive and maybe how to putt. Driving, a lot of these young guys, it's like a duck to water. The guys just pick up a driver and hit it 320. So I feel that the art form of driving has gone out of the window. The technology has taken over so much. And the guys are longer, and I think it's just going to keep happening. I remember when I was in my 20s, Nick Price was almost where I'm sitting now, and he was moaning about the length of the young guys, and I guess I'm saying the same thing now. Some of these guys are hitting their 3-woods as long as I hit my driver. So, and that's just the way the game goes. That's just the cycle. So, other than that, you still got to hit it in the fairway and make the putts. The game hasn't changed that much.
Okay, last question.
Ernie, you went a long part of your career with Ricky on the bag. Tiger and Stevie just parted ways.
Yeah.
Is there a time in everybody's career where you got to change if things get stale, or how do you view that?
Well, I can't comment on why they split up. I got no idea why they split up, but you know, Ricky and myself also split up around about the 12-year mark. I guess that's a 12-year itch, you know. And you know, Rick is like a brother to me. I mean, we still speak. You know, we were lifelong friends. It just, you know, yeah, something just doesn't fit anymore. You know, or the relationship kind of, you know. And with me, you know, we took a break, and then he came back. And he came back 2 times after that, you know. And I think he might still have a chance coming back again. So, you know, we like brothers. So, you know, it's just it's the working relationship that kind of goes sour, and then you got to move on.
It's not always about results.
Well, it's all about results, really. But it's the way you get there. You know, if you're happy to grind it out for 6 months or 4 months to get to that end result, and you're both happy to go through that process, great. If the one is not happy to go down that line, you know, then you got to call it a day. So that's what happened to us.
Okay, Ernie, thank you. We always appreciate your time.
Thank you.